How time flies. We thank God for the privilege to be alive today in the land of the living. And we thank God for you always tuning in to ABS on a morning like this to watch Good Morning Anambra Show. My name is Nonye Nwokoye, welcoming you to the show. We begin with the press review. Have you joined us on Good Morning Anambra Show today? It's press review, and in the studio we've been joined by two gentlemen. Chibike Nake. Chibike Nake is the president, NANS UNIZIK, and public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the studio, Chibike.
Thank you. Good morning, Dana, bro.
All right, we also have Oluebube Ngige, a public affairs analyst. Welcome to the studio, Oluebube.
Thank you very much.
All right, we begin with taking a look at some of the papers we have. You know the rules here. The program is audience participatory. When the time comes, you will call in and make your own input on any issue of importance to you. But while it lasts, we have so many papers: the Sun, Daily Sun, National Star, Daily Times, Punch, Daily Independent, Nation, Guardian, Vanguard, Daily Trust, and Nigerian Tribune. These are the papers we are looking at this morning. And remember that some stories appear in virtually all the papers, so we carry you along as we go. As we take a look at the Daily Sun, that's the first paper we're reviewing this morning. In front of the Daily Sun newspapers, we have Abuja agog as ministers take oath of office. We have riders there. Ex-Ebonyi governor will do Nigeria proud as works minister says Akpabio. CSOs, others kick against ex-governors collecting multiple benefits. Daily petrol consumption drops to 52 million liters, says the federal government. Tinubu redeploys murmur from youth ministry to Niger Delta. With a ride there, directs minor amendments, portfolio allocation ministry nomenclature. And Sheikh Husani mocks El Rufai, calls him reggae artist. Okay. We also have other stories that Kuko Peter side to speak at Maritime Confab. Ex-agitator applaud Tinubu for returning NDDC to presidency. Niger Republic Anglican Archbishop, ex-lawmaker, warned against military action. TMG flays alleged attempts to undermine election tribunal cases through corruption. AAU dismisses 5 staff, 21 others undergoing investigation over criminal offenses. Lending $3 billion to CBN connotes Apex Bank's insolvency. That's coming from experts. We tried there, regulator to unveil new list of BDCs warns against patronizing IFOs. Okay, these and more stories on Daily Sun newspaper.
Well, it's quite, embarrassing to say the least that Nigeria in its state now, some had argued that Nigeria has never been a giant of Africa, but for the books, we are.
So, you think so?
For the books, yeah.
Okay.
So what has happened is that with this invasion in Niger and also the culminating activities that have happened, prior to the assumption of Mr. President as the ECOWAS chairman, and all of the claims, across several countries, you find out that there is a sense of, what will I say, disbelief in the leadership of ECOWAS, because they seem not to either stand here nor there. So this time they're talking about invasion, and you have arm in one hand, and you are talking about negotiation in the other hand, and it has seriously affected. So a lot of people, even the religious leaders, are now crying out to say, what you are, the invasion you're about to embark on has a lot of ripple effects on the economy. And now, I think maybe as we go forward, we'll see there is a map, one of the papers that have identified how these, just the air of authority, the exchange of wealth has affected the economy, the states that we share, that shared borders with Niger across the northern side of Nigeria. So you find out that there is already hostility. The air there is very harsh. Just before invasion, nothing has happened yet, but the air there is very harsh. Some of our patrol borders that usually find it easy to go stroll down into some shops in Niger to pick up one or two things can no longer go there because they're already seen as a terror. So
enemies already.
yeah.
And you begin to wonder. A lot of people have said, don't embark on this. Dialogue is always the best. And the Nigerian government, the ECOWAS is still, trying to say that they are going to send the army there. What do you think, Nake?
I think that the dialogue is always the best, but the ECOWAS trying to send troops. To me, I suspect that there is a ulterior motive. Because if there is no ulterior motive, I think they should give room for that dialogue that everybody is clamoring for. Because once you can't use violence to curb violence, it is a peaceful and conversant dialogue that you use. So I put my mouth in begging the ECOWAS that they should calm down first and let peace reign.
Your understanding about the economy in Africa, especially in the West Africa, is that everything borders and anchors on decisions of our leaders. So far, so good. We've seen an Africa that is solely dependent, although in the books they are independent, but solely dependent on the West. And you now see all these misunderstandings that happens with policies and all of it becoming something that at the tail end benefits the West more. Because I was looking at all this. Nigeria has a deposit of mineral resources, natural. Nigeria has Burkina Faso, Mali, and all other places. They do have, but who benefits in all of this? You see the position of Niger in the poverty index of the world. So it goes a long way to show that even the people who are pressuring to bring peace through war and all of the ECOWAS have benefited nothing. So it's important for them to really relax, to understand that alternative dispute resolution doesn't take 2 minutes.
Okay.
This is a premeditated.
All right. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the new national star. Let's see stories there. Expectations high as Tinubu swears in ministers today. I think we're going to look at that story because it's also in the Daily Sun where they say Abuja agog as ministers take oath of office. Now, in front of the new national star, we'll have other stories there. Nigerian military junta warns against the intervention, vows return to civilian rule in 3 years. NDLEA recovers 4.8 billion naira worth of opioids in Lagos, intercepts $20 million counterfeit in Abuja. Election petition, TMG alleges attempt by politicians to compromise tribunal judgment. Spain 1-0 England. Spain 1, England 0. Carmona breaks Lionesses' hearts by to win Women World Cup. All right. Expert advocates revival of idle oil wells to boost output, meet OPEC quota. Central African Republic, Ramux restates commitment to strengthening security. Other stories, PDP chieftain drags acting chairman, others to court for negligence of party constitution. 6 town unions president killed in Anambra. Ozekome commends Ndibo for cancelling abhorrent sit at home. And Serap urges Tinubu to stop life pension for Wike, Umahi, other ex-governors. Okay, I think these 2 stories are what we are going to take out from the new national star. Expectations high as Tinubu swears in ministers. Nake, let me begin with you.
It's a welcome development. Everybody is expecting. Let's see what will happen. Although we recently saw that there are some reshufflement in the ministerial appointment. And Akpabio is saying that that the former governor of Ebonyi State will do wonders as the Minister of Works. Well, let's say that as they are new, they will do something, and we are expecting more. But along the line, because these people are past leaders, it has been, they are just reshuffling the same people at the same sector. So I don't think they will do much. The expectation that is high, I don't think is that high as per se.
And you know, sometimes when you expect somebody that high, little is actually
they will achieve little, because these people has been given opportunity in one sector or the other before. They are not new people coming. They are the same people that is being recycled and reshuffled from one portfolio to the other. So that's why I think that's why they are calling also for them not to be, you know, benefiting the life pension, because these people are former governors. Now they are ministers, and tomorrow now they may go into another portfolio, which is the same government portfolio. So I don't think the expectation should be that high or much as people are clamoring for. But still, we'll just believe that they will do more.
Oh, okay, and look at the rider in that story. You know, trying to divide the regions, how they got the number of ministers they got. Northwest have 10 ministers, Northeast 8, North Central 8, Southwest 9, South 7, Southeast 5. What actually
can you imagine
is going on? You know, the list.
Well, even with the quota, because the Nigerian quota system, nobody can doubt the impotence. Let me use that word. So, if when you look at it, you find out that the entirety of this selection is more like recycling old wine in new bottles. You understand? So when you open it, you still find out these are old wines. But what I'm concerned about is the economic impact of all these recyclings. For example, these are former service
and let's not forget what Serap is saying, that they should stop the life pensions for them.
Why would
so
they
be eating life pension? They'll be eating minister and so many other, while other Nigerians are suffering.
So look at I'm trying to justify this, because when you look at people who climb the radar of a public service, the ladder of public service is just such that somebody who has served up to 30 years does not even get to benefit. What a governor that just starts for a one-term 4 years is benefiting. And then they are placed on life salaries in the name of pensions. These guys benefit for life. And it's not like the money is little. How the money is exorbitant. And you find out that they are even up to the point that they are factored into the budget of the next year.
They can't even pay 30,000 naira minimum wage to an average worker in Nigeria.
So my problem is that Nigeria, as it is, does not understand that it has to restructure its economic policies to fit a developing economy, other than copying what developed economies are doing.
No, if you want to copy to the latter, because there is this complaint that Nigeria is Ngelale was actually saying that we are the people that pay less in petrol. We pay less in petrol, but check their minimum wage. So that other people can equally afford.
And make such statements. You are comparing countries that purchase fuel
with
countries that produce fuel.
Because
is that even what
our mineral resources have been exported?
If you say you're copy the good things they are doing.
Yes.
Copy the how they treat their citizens over there. Copy everything to the latter.
That's the thing. Nigeria is notorious for copying exorbitance and all of the economic downturns, and they were ready to compare. At the end of the day, your production is not matching up. Your GDP is very bad. Your economic index is very bad. And I just pity, because some people just claim we should appreciate the fact that that naira had appreciated to the dollar. And I was just
how much?
I was just telling them, people are ready to sing praises.
Are they ready to give us 1 naira to $1, which they promised?
People are always ready to praise incompetence. And I was just telling them that this is just mere market misbehavior. And if there are speculations that bond this particular appreciation does not go on and happen, everything will go agog and will fall back to where we are.
Let's look at the Daily Times. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Daily Times newspaper. Nigeria tops global chart for deaths from malaria. Reps urge federal government's action. Now, anger in Niger Delta over Aso Rock top shots meddling in NDDC. We have riders there alleged that 350 billion naira squandered on unverifiable projects. Presidential aid backing unpopular MD for unknown reasons. Okay, 2 Akwa Ibom oil-producing communities gear up for war. Rage as Anambra landlady pours hot water pepper on tenant, saving the naira and ourselves. Elderly widow begs Edo first lady over late husband's property. And we also have Spain beats England to emerge world women's football champions. Congratulations to Spain. I know you would like to talk about that one. Okay, but before we do that, let's look at the anger in Niger Delta over Aso Rock top shots meddling in NDDC. We remember the last time there was a probe at the National Assembly where a man fainted and was taken away. And the current Senate president actually appeared before that panel, and we didn't hear anything further after that incident. So now the Niger Deltans are crying.
You know, my position has always been simple. When you look at the politics that is happening in our leadership positions, you find out that they virtually politicize everything. So when they give you the more you look, the less you see attitude, you begin to figure out that they just want you to maybe at that moment calm down. You know, I was thinking that after that particular process that held, that it was going, they're going to dish out sanctions. But it's quite informative to know that they didn't do anything. And that goes to show...
It's not the first time. We remember the time of that woman that was, is it House of Reps, Patricia Ete? There was an incident, though unfortunately I think the lawmaker that was involved passed on or something like that. That period. So this is not the first time we are witnessing that in Nigeria.
Even up to recent,
nobody has actually served a punishment that will serve as deterrent to others.
Even the just MJ passed the screening of ministers. You find that issues that are being raised and they are being shut out because they are raised by the minorities. So the problem now is that leadership is not at the front burners of these guys. They still bring in politics at the point of leadership. I was thinking that politics would have been the vehicle that they will, leverage, and once they arrive there, they forget about anything politics and focus on leadership. But you see these guys playing their cards. You see evil in front of you, and you see play politics around it, and then you cover them up. What I'm saying in essence is, Niger Delta has been agitating for a long time now. Over the period of the distance, I was thinking that audit, that probe would have brought out an audited report so that these issues, because when you're pointing a humongous amount of money to projects you can't see, it goes a long way to tell you that, that the previous government was more corrupt than we knew. You understand? So the former president will always claim that there are no corruption, there is nothing like corruption that can be captured around him. But at the end of the day, the people he put into certain positions are there, swallowing money like the past monkeys and the snakes we've seen. So it's somehow, and it's high time. But the thing is that even demonstration on the street does not change anything. It's high time. The revolution that will take place in this country, I just hope a lot of us live to survive and see beyond that.
Okay.
Soon, as all eyes are on judges now. Okay. I think at the end of that judgment, there will be a revolution. I think so, and I'm hoping so.
And not just that, look at 2 Akwa Ibom oil-producing communities gearing up for war. And war is not something that one can actually joke with. To embark on war in a situation that we have found ourselves. There is no war that is greater than what we are experiencing.
Akwa Ibom produced the present Senate president, right?
The Senate president is from Akwa Ibom.
It's high time he weighed in because it can be swept under.
That's where he will show leadership capacity.
Yes, because these things, you might just see a lot of incitement happening on the ground. And you see people who do know nothing about what is going on, fighting and killing themselves. The politics is just very
but
bad.
I'm pleading with us that anybody that is clamoring for war at this present economy should just pedal down, should calm down, because the war will not even help. It will worsen the situation. The economy is very bad. Yes, we are in great war. So, and anybody that is going in for war now is even causing more harm, because the effects of war are being is something that one cannot even imagine.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, in front of that paper, we could see a multiple accident that happened yesterday at Lagos. It says it's at Antony area of Lagos State. I think that's a stationary vehicle that is carrying a container and 2 cars, plunged under it. And this looks terrible. We pray that God delivers those in it. The program is Press Review on ABS Television. We have phone lines on your screen. You can call and make your own opinion count on any issue raised here that you're interested in talking about. We've talked a lot and we still have more coming up on the Press Review. Now we take a look at the Punch newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Punch newspaper. Now, federal government prioritizes economy security as ministers take oath today. With riders there, President's 8-point agenda to guide appointees, ministers complete documentation at SGF office. Tinubu renames Environment Ministry, appoints Niger Delta Minister, reassigns Oyetola, others. Now, farmers abandon farm, 23 Sokoto Zamfara, KBLG local government under bandit. NDLEA recovers 4.8 billion naira drugs from wanted billionaires Lagos warehouse. Miscreant traders take over multi-million naira Lagos bus stop. And we also have other stories in front of the Punch. Nigeria loses 249 billion naira in July as oil output drops. CBN loan to manufacturers, aviation firms rise to 5.6 million naira. Niger, ECOWAS rejects Junta's 3-year transition plan. All right, Nake.
I saw where they say that farmers abandons farm, where we see bandits taking over the farm. Please, the security should be, as we are now, we are in farming season.
We are just seeing it in the papers. This did not happen, and the effect is already showing, because in Delta State, you see few people roasting corns against what it used to be. Showing that even you ask them, they tell you corn is very, very expensive.
That's why I want to raise concern on that, because personally I'm a farmer by birth. Okay. And anything that concerns, the economy is gradually dying, because the oil that we are hoping for, that is the agriculture, has been the mainstream of the economy before the invasion of the oil. So I want to plead with us, everybody, especially now that the economy is very bad, that we should go back to the farm. And I want to also charge the government, because this thing that they're saying that bandits take over the farm, they are the people plotting all those things. They're just putting fears in people. I just came back from farm the other day. I see all these Fulani herdsmen everywhere in the farms. And these people are the people causing that problem. But if all the communities that are agrarian areas will rise up and just put a precautionary measure to handle those people, I think, because we need... What is coming now is a massive hunger if care is not taken. Now that they are saying war everywhere, if the war starts, there will be no food and all those things. And these people that they are saying that banditries are taking over their farm are the people producing what the nation is eating. So I beg the federal government and the state government to take proactive measures to make sure that the farms and the farmers are being protected. Because they are the people...
And sometimes when these things happen, the ordinary man in the street is the one that suffers. And I don't know if this is
the high cost of food nowadays.
Coordinated something to see that more hardship are imposed on the people. Because we are facing hardship already. If hunger comes in, what becomes of the ordinary
you
man
will not
on
see
the
anything
streets?
to buy. Talk more of where to buy it. So that is it. So I'm not happy about it. Where you say, if any incident that happens in the farm or to the farmers, personally, I'm very sad and angry at it because it will cause more hardship and hunger in the nation. So I beg them, they should just allow the farmers to be.
All right.
They should allow us to be.
Okay, let's see. Let's move on now to the Daily Independent newspaper. Let's see stories in front of the Daily Independent newspaper. Inflation pushing lower naira denominations into extinction. And have you seen coin in the last 10 years in Nigeria? Have you seen? We have coin in this nation, but we hardly see it.
Yeah,
ECOWAS
even the naira notes, like 5 naira, 10 naira, if you see it nowadays, it will be like, what are you holding? I brought it out one day and someone was asking me, what am I doing with it? I told the person, this is a naira note and it's our currency.
Okay, let's see. ECOWAS rejects Niger junta's 3-year power transition plan with a rather there pro-coup rally in Niger after leader warns against foreign intervention. Serap asked Tinubu to stop Wike, Umahi, others from getting pensions. Falana asked DSS to release Bauer, says remand order has expired. NDLEA recovers 4.8 billion naira opioids, intercepts $20 million fake notes. Daily petrol consumption drops to 52 million liters in July, NMDPRA. Now, stakeholders, Rio Lena as aviation minister set agenda. TMG raises the alarm over politicians' attempt to undermine election tribunal. Tinubu reassigns Momo to Niger Delta, Oyetola Marine and Blue Economy. Tunji Ojo Interior Ministry. With a rider there, ministers designate conclude documentation ahead of inauguration. I don't know, this daily petrol consumption dropping, I think you can even see it physically. You know, when we go out on the roads, you had, in fact, yesterday as I was coming down from Asaba, you hardly see vehicles on the roads. And I don't know, that could be the effect of what we are reading this morning in the papers.
You know, the thing is, when you look at consumption and inflation rate, and also what is happening with our economy, with the control of the government, you find out that the masses consumption must lower because I was looking at
let them drink their fuel.
Yeah, not necessarily. It's affordability. You know, this is a necessity.
And if you can't afford, the owner of the petrol will keep his petrol.
But then it's not funny and it's not encouraging for the economy because when you look at people, a country that produces a particular product does not the consumption has dropped. They don't even consume it anymore. It goes a long way to tell you that the purchasing power has depreciated. You see what you have mentioned about the old, smaller denomination going extinct because of this inflation. It's not a good color for our economy. And it's important for us because when the leadership is not paying attention to the internal issues it has and is focused on the external issues, you find out that there will be a huge disconnect with the reality because at the end of the day, all attention, all the president is rolling out is comparisons between the country and other developed economies, and then wanting to invade another country simply because he's a ECOWAS chairman. And then you find out that a number of things must have gone wrong. And also, I need to say this because when you look at the headline, it was being particular about the issue with the junta, saying they will transition power in 3 years. It's important for ECOWAS to sit down and analyze this issue because this is not just a head-on, it is not just a mere statement. When you're engaging with armed people, as trained as they are, you find out that the modus operandi of engagement is different. It should be different because when I listen to these leaders talk, they speak as though they will be the ones to carry the guns. They don't understand that the people they are going to be commanding are people who share the same core values. no matter the country, no matter whatever, they share same core value, which is protection. And also, with the recent happenings in the economy, people start to think about their lives, about their families. So what assures or what guarantees the mindset of a soldier to go and fight and defend the cause of his country is because his country in return gives him a semblance of protection, and also his family. Now, with this whole thing happening, these guys doesn't even have the average life quality and expectancy they're supposed to have. Their family's lifestyle is dropping. So what guarantees them that the energy they are vibrating on, for example, Niger is busy renegotiating their economic deals with people who are interested, and they are busy moving in their army. So if you know that at the end of the day, Niger may reserve their armies and they are not even moving an inch, and it will just be those third party soldiers and defenders will be there fighting. What assured Nigeria, because these are some of the things that sometimes when I look at, I will now be thinking, what informs the president to understand that the day you're planning for this war, a plane was shot down in your country. Now, the hostile nature of life in the north is very bad right now. And these are the places you claim you got the highest number of votes.
Okay, let's see. We take the two remaining papers together, The Nation and the Vanguard newspapers. Let's see stories in front of The Nation newspaper. Tinubu reassigns Oyetola to Marine, Momo to Niger Delta with a ride there. Alkali, Tunji Ojo, Lokpobiri, Epo affected in minor shake-up. Abuja Agog for ministers' induction. Now, banks, BDCs in talks to boost dollar liquidity. Labour backs tenure system for public sector directors. ECOWAS rejects Niger junta's transition plan. We've seen that before. Why bank CEOs were barred from foreign trips. Okay, and again, the last story in front of that paper says, it says today, adherents cautioned in Kwara, Jegushi hails the Southwest government. Okay, now let's look at the Vanguard newspaper and see stories making their headlines in front of the Vanguard. Brutally frank, many governors were wealthier than their states. That's coming from Edwin Clark. NDLEA busts drug warehouse in Lagos, recovers 4.8 billion naira opioids. Tinubu appoints Momo as minister designate for Niger Delta. We can also see in Niger, ECOWAS rejects junta's 3-year transition plan. With riders there, junta warns against foreign intervention. Talks between ECOWAS, junta yield little result. Officials speaking says deep divisions exist within presidential guard. Notes majority of soldiers at presidential complex will flee if ECOWAS attacks. Pope calls for peace in coup-hit Niger. And we can see a protest in front of the paper. There is, okay, these are supporters of Niger National Council of Safeguard of the Homeland, holding placards of Niger's new military ruler. Okay, we can also see other stories. Old age poverty to increase as pension coverage stagnates, population rises. Okay, energy crisis, cost of solar system rises 120% to 550,000 naira as forex inflation worsens. It says today traditionalists warn Yoruba monarchs against sacrilege. And Spain beat England 1-0 to win. We are going to use that story to wrap up the show. Now, Nake, I don't know which story you'll be looking at finally before we leave.
Let's
Quickly.
say the NDLE recovers a drug warehouse in Lagos State. Worth of 4-point-something billion naira and 20 billion naira worth of fake dollar notes. You begin to wonder and imagine, like now, the news has rise up now. At the end of the day, you see that nothing will be done because this warehouse should be demolished immediately. Because if you leave them, tomorrow now, the news will still appear some other time that they discover, and it will be the same place. Because now that I've gone there and discovered those things...
So there should be a follow-up report on it.
That's what I'm saying now. There will be a follow-up report, but at the end of the day, nothing will be done. No punishment will be given to these people or proactive measures. But if, and in such cases, the warehouse should be demolished and the government take over the property. Because you can't tell me that such thing will be in a state and nothing will be done. At the end of the day, those people will migrate to another part of the state and start doing the same thing. This fake dollar note now, if not that it has been intercepted now, it will go into circulation and people will be scammed with it. And these people that are, I wonder how they produce that dollar note, this counterfeit of a thing. And you know, as I saw the notes, and it looks exactly like the real money, and it is being circulated all over the state. So I want to beg the NDLE and the Nigerian government that all those such cases, that they should take proactive measures in curbing and making sure that such thing does not exist anymore.
All right, quickly, let's look at the Spain winning England. Let's use it to wrap up the show. Our time is fast spent here. We need to go.
Well, congratulations to Spain, because it was a long ride, and most of us...
There must be a winner at the end of the day.
Stayed glued to our TVs, and it was worth it. We saw even our own women, they tried, and it's in fact encouraging for women around the world to understand that they have a special role to play around sports, in all facets of economies, and I really appreciate and encourage them to go ahead and do more. And a quick one, I wanted to complain bitterly to say that anybody that wants to come out to serve the nation should personally be ready to be audited and be ready to declare, because if you look at that brutal, frankly spoken words of Edwin Clark, these are very good. These are truth.
Okay. The same leaders that are supposed to alleviate the plight of the masses are increasing it when old age poverty is to increase as pension coverage.
So who is that?
While they are paying the leaders pension, and they are paying. In fact,
so I wonder the kind of advice they are getting, and the specialists that are advising them in our economic policies. So
Nigeria is a great country, and we hope it continues to be greater by the day. God helping us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how we're wrapping up the press review for today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Nonya Nwokoye, and I would like to appreciate our guests, Nake and Oluebube, for being here this morning. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that's it. More coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show. Do stay.